Good morning and welcome to day 7. Today's topic is using conversion factors or dimensional analysis. Now let's do a quick review. We kind of know what a conversion factor is. Let me give you a quick example. We could say that 1 week is equal to 7 days. Okay, so even though 1 and 7 are not numerically equal to each other, when we start plugging in the units of weeks and days, now we know that this is a statement that's true. Now be careful. The 1 typically goes with the larger value. In this case, a week of time is longer than a day. So don't get these numbers get confused. So if you said that 7 weeks is equal to 1 day, this would no longer be true. So just make sure that when you're using conversion factors, the 1 typically is going to go with the larger number. All right. So let's say we want to convert dollars into pesos. So the unit that we're given would maybe be dollars, and the unit that we want to end up with is pesos. So we want to convert American dollars into pesos. So we would put the factor that we want to be canceled on the bottom, which would be the dollar, and the unit that we want to convert into would go on top. So unit cancellation says that this dollar is going to cancel out this dollar, and then we're going to multiply by the conversion factor that's on top, whatever number goes with peso, and we're going to divide by the conversion factor on bottom, which is a number that goes with the dollar. Remember, the larger value is usually set to 1, not always. All right, 1 is a placeholder. We can multiply by 1, we can divide by 1, and it won't make a numerical difference. It's that other number that we're going to be looking for. All right, so we can repeat this as many times as necessary. In my first example, I want to figure out, well, let's just read it. I want to buy a new iPod Nano. The 8 gigabyte version costs $149. I have a job walking dogs that pays $14 per week. How many weeks must I work in order to buy the new iPod? So the cost of the iPod is going to be my given, $149. And I want to convert this into weeks. Weeks is how many weeks do I have to work? Is it 5 weeks? Is it 10 weeks? Is it 20 weeks? I want to know how many weeks I need to work in order to do this. Now, my conversion factor is right here, $14 per 1 week. So we want to cancel out the dollars. We're going to put the dollars on the bottom. We want to convert to weeks, so we're going to put the weeks on the top. And we know that it's $14 for 1 week. Now this is where we get our calculators out, okay? Oh, before we do that, let's show unit cancellation. Dollars on the top cancels out dollars on the bottom, okay? That's important that you always put the unit to be canceled opposite. So we're going to take 149 and we're going to multiply it by 1. Well, 149 times 1 is 149. But then what we're going to do is we're going to take 149 and we're going to divide it by the factor on bottom, which is 14. So when I multiply by 1, I get 149. When I divide by 14, I get 10.64. Now, realistically, I probably get paid once a week, so it's probably going to take me 11 weeks before I can afford to buy a new iPod. Let's do another example. This is going to be a two-stepper. Aunt Kathy is 87 years old. How many hours has she been alive? Now, I don't know how to go from years to hours, but I do know how to go from years to days. Okay? And then if I know days, I can convert into hours. Now, I don't expect you to memorize conversion factors, except if it's time, I do kind of assume that you know how to tell time. Okay? All right, so step 1 is I want to cancel out the years, so I'm going to put years on the bottom. And I want to convert to days, so I'm going to put days on top. Now I'm going to start plugging in my numbers, okay, which is bigger, a year or a day? A year is bigger, so I'm going to say that 1 year is equal to 365 days. It's actually 365.25, but for this example, I'll just use the 365. Now it's important that you show your unit cancellation along the way. So now I'm in days, okay? But I don't want days, I want hours. So now I'm going to put days on the bottom, and I'm going to put hours on the top, okay? Which is longer, a day or an hour. A day is longer, so I'm going to set the larger value to 1, and hour is shorter than a day, so it takes 24 hours to equal a day. I like to use color, so now I'm going to show days canceling out days. So I'm going to multiply by the conversion factors on top, and I'm going to divide by the conversion factors on bottom. But before you actually do that, I can divide by 1, and I can divide by 1, and it doesn't make a difference. So really, I'm just going to multiply by the conversion factors on top. I'm going to do this in my calculator with you guys. All right, so 87 times 365. I'm going to hit the equal button, and right now my calculator says 31,755. And I could divide by 1, but it doesn't make a difference. So now I'm going to multiply by the other one, which is 24, and I get 762,120. Okay, and I'm going to divide by 1, but I don't have to because it's going to stay the same. So my final answer is going to be 762,120 hours. I could round that to less digits if I wanted to, but regardless, I'm going to take 87 times the conversion factors on top, 365 and 24, and I'm going to divide by my conversion factors on bottom, 1 and 1. Remember, if you divide by 1, you keep your number. All right, so guys, I did include a worksheet. You guys can either save it to Notability or you can print out a hard copy, but this kind of sets it up. If there is one blank, that means it's a one conversion problem. But we get down here and we want to convert miles per hour into kilometers per minute. It's going to take 2 steps. Now, I will give you guys a hint real quick. On the top, we want to go from miles to kilometers. So if I want to cancel out miles, I'm going to put those on bottom and kilometers on top. Remember, guys, show unit cancellation. So I'm going to show miles canceling out miles in red. But on the bottom, I want to convert from hours to minutes. So if something's on the bottom, I'm going to cancel it out by putting it on the top. If I want the minutes on the bottom, I'm going to put minutes down here. Now I'm also going to show unit cancellation, but this time in a different color. So hours canceling out hours. Now if you really think about it, guys, everything's going to cancel out except for kilometers on top and minutes on bottom. So plug in your conversion from kilometers to miles, and then plug in your conversion from hours to minutes. I do believe I've provided those for you up top. Okay. All right, last one. I'll give you another hint. You guys are going to go from seconds to minutes to hours to days to years. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4 conversions, and you're going to put your conversion factors here. So first conversion factor, second conversion factor, third conversion factor, and fourth conversion factor. Guys, I know this is a little bit tricky. We will spend a little bit more time after spring break talking about this. It's a difficult concept. I like to use the number lines. I am going to attach a copy of a Khan Academy or a Tyler DeWitt video, so if you guys want to watch that, it might be helpful. All right, guys, remember, I still miss you. I still love you. Keep in touch over spring break. If you need anything, shoot me an email. Leave a comment in the Google Classroom. Regardless, guys, I'll see you soon.